I am really excited to see that Nord is finally in the US. OnePlus is releasing the N10 5G as well as the N100 in both unlocked and T-Mobile specific variant, and they are basically under $300. The N10 5G is at $299, and of course the N100 is at $179 in the US, and again supporting US bands. That was the biggest thing, that if you had to import the Nord from last year, is that you didn't get full compatibility. So today we're going to do a hands-on with the N10 5G US variant, and of course talk about the differences between this model and the European model, and why we should be excited that we now have a budget-friendly OnePlus under $300 in the US with an IP57 rating. This is TK, Sabaho everybody, and this is the Nord N10 5G. Like and subscribe, and make sure you hit that bell icon so that you're always notified to whenever we have new videos on the channel. So here we have it. This is the US variant of the Nord N10 5G. And the reason I say this is obviously the packaging is pretty much very similar to the one we saw last year. We have obviously OnePlus Nord N10 5G. Again, this is a unlocked model. There is going to be a T-Mobile version of this. Should be roughly about the same price, but please make sure to check out T-Mobile's site for final pricing. But as far as the actual packaging, you get the device, as you can imagine. We have the US charger, the Warp Charge 30T, of course, as well as a USB Type-A to USB Type-C cable. Standard packaging, and of course, we have a SIM removal tool and some documentation. No case included in the box, but definitely very nice to see what we get here. As I mentioned to you guys at the beginning, the pricing for this guy is going to be $299 in the US, and of course, it's going to be both available in unlocked models, so you can buy it directly from OnePlus, or you can get it directly from T-Mobile if you're already with them. It is going to be featuring the Snapdragon 690. Let's go ahead and unlock the phone and go into the About section. And as far as the processing power and the internals, for the most part, they're very similar to the European model. What we have here is the Snapdragon 690, 6 gigs of RAM, and 128 gigs of internal storage with expandable storage. So we have SD card support even in the US model. And as far as the camera configuration here, we have a quad camera setup in the back and a single camera setup in the front. The single one in the front is a 16 megapixel camera at f2.5. On the back, we have a primary shooter that's going to be a 64 megapixel sensor at a f1.79, an 8 megapixel ultra wide at f2.25, and of course 2 megapixel macro and a 2 megapixel mono camera. There is also a headphone jack that's present on the bottom, USB Type-C for charging and data, a microphone, bottom firing speaker, married to the top earpiece to provide us a stereo configuration. And again, this is running currently Oxygen OS 10.0, and hopefully we'll be able to see Oxygen OS 11 in the near future. As far as the actual experience overall, this is again running what you normally expect to get from OnePlus. The speed, the fluidity, everything is running perfectly fine. This is not running the new UI that we saw with Oxygen OS 11 yet. So for the most part, very fast, very consistent. I did want to share with you guys real quick speed test here running on the T-Mobile network here in my area. And as you can imagine, I have basically pretty decent speeds. This one actually is in the house, and typically I get around 50. With the Nord N10, I was able to get almost 100 megabits down and about almost 9 megabits up, which is actually pretty reasonable considering the speeds that I'm able to get normally in my area. But other than that, I think you're really looking to basically benefit from this device. Overall, the performance here are obviously very familiar to what we normally see from Nord. We have a power button on the right, we have a volume rocker on the left, and of course the SIM tray that's present here on the left. And one of the big differences between this device and the European model, on top of the band support for US, is the fact that this is a single SIM with an SD card option. The European model has a dual SIM option, which means it allows us to use 2 SIM cards. But for the US, for the most part, we generally get single SIM devices. So again, single SIM with an SD card on the US model of the Nord N10 5G. Battery capacity is pretty much the same, 4300 milliampere battery built in here, supported with the Warp Charge 30T that we have in there. And of course, we still have the 6.49 90 Hz refresh rate display, which is truly one of the best features of this device. Again, at $299, you're definitely getting a main benefit here. So under advanced, and of course you go under refresh rate, you will have it automatically to be set to 90 Hz out of the box. You can configure it to go to 60 if you'd like, but otherwise you're looking pretty good. As far as the camera configuration here, again, I explained to you the camera setup that we have in the back. Slow motion, video, all of the different options that you have in here. Portrait, Nightscape, Pro mode is also present here, and I did receive one update since I opened it up out of the box. Now, when it comes down to performance as far as on the cameras, a maximum is going to be 4K 30 frames per second standard or cinematic. That's going to be on the main shooters in the back. And of course, resolution on the front maximum is going to be 1080p 30 frames per second. Let's go ahead and check out some samples from there. So we're going to start off with the front-facing video here on the brand new Nord N10. This is capable of 1080p 60 frames per second, not 1080p 30. No 4K though. Obviously, the 690 is only capable of going so far. But let's go ahead and switch over to the back-facing sensor where we're able to actually get 4K 30 normal or 4K 30 cinematic. So the cameras on the back here is capable of shooting 4K 30 frames per second. Again, this is going to be the best resolution that we have. We can either use the standard mode that we're using right now, or we can go with cinematic, which is more of a nice, like a kind of almost like letterboxing it. But overall, again, a good example of audio and video from the brand new Nord N10. And again, there's a little bit of sound going on in the background there, so hopefully it actually focuses on me pretty well. As far as the camera performance, as you guys can see, the cameras actually perform quite well, and I've been enjoying using this. Again, the specific model that I've had for some time, which is the Nord N10 European model, we're getting the exact same experience, but now finally in the US with supported US band. And for a quick benchmark result here, this is what we get with Geekbench 5, 608 for single core and 1850 for multi-core, and 961 for OpenCL. And of course, we'll go ahead and do a quick audio test. So the volume is going to go all the way high on 100%. Again, stereo speakers with the top earpiece and the bottom firing speaker. We'll go ahead and play Alex Scrindo Jumbo by NCS Release.
Jack it up.
This will not be one of the loudest speakers that you can get, but it definitely is clear, and of course, even at the highest level, still sounds pretty good and not tinny at all. For customizations, again, you're able to customize different options in here. For sound and vibration, you're able to go in there, do live caption, earphone mode. Of course, the D-Rack or DIRAC is the tuner or the EQ that we have here built in, so you're able to customize that. But of course, customizations will be where you can customize everything, even the ability to turn on the dark mode, which is called Nuance Dark. Out of the box, it's actually automatically turned on to illuminating light, which essentially is their light option. And of course, even though if you select this option, let's go ahead and hit cancel, you can go in there and customize the icon pack, the system icon, of course, the fonts level, accent color, which I actually did go in there and change that. It does usually come in with this more of a lighter blue, and I like it to be a little bit darker. Last but not least, lock screen, of course, wallpaper. No always on display, as that one comes in with Oxygen OS 11. When it comes to gaming, I'm pretty sure you guys are interested to see how does it actually perform directly within PUBG. Again, one of the really most popular games on the market. So HD and high is the maximum we're able to get. If we go under smooth, we're able to jump into ultra, and of course customizing the colorful. So definitely the best performance will be under HD and high, but of course for best performance as far as comes to frame rate, that's going to be under smooth and ultra. So let's go ahead and hit OK. Let's go ahead and jump into a quick game. It definitely looks really nice, even though there's a lot of other players, spawning in there, jumping in. There's no issues. Movement is very good, and of course, let's go ahead and jump in here. Let's jump that, jump. And yeah, seems like it's pretty good. So let's go ahead and jump in real quick to a quick match. One of the most exciting part of the Nord line from OnePlus is the fact that we finally have a return to OnePlus to budget-friendly devices in the US. The OnePlus 8, the 8 Pro, or the 8T are all $700 and above. And of course, with the brand new OnePlus 9 line of the devices, is more than likely going to be in the same ballpark. So the Nord line is definitely a very welcomed 5G compatible $299 device from OnePlus at a very budget-friendly experience. You're still getting the OnePlus Speed, you're getting the expandable storage, which again, we haven't had here in the US with OnePlus forever. And of course, a 3.5mm headphone jack, a large display, 90 frames per second or 90 Hertz for the refresh rate. Of course, stereo speakers, a lot of things that we normally ask for from our flagship devices at a very budget-friendly price from OnePlus. So I hope you guys like this video. I hope you guys are interested about this. Of course, if you'd like to check it out, there'll be a link for you guys to be able to save some money directly from OnePlus's site, or you can definitely check out T-Mobile's site for both the N10 5G as well as the N100. Thank you very much for the support. Like and subscribe as usual. And of course, I'll see you guys in the next video.